What's up, nerds? Welcome to the DNA Podcast, episode 25. Brian, it's E3 week.
E3 week.
I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, alongside me. It's Brian Anderson. It's good to be here with you, Brian.
Yeah, it's a great week to like games.
It is a great week.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm excited.
I can tell.
I'm so excited. I can't contain myself. I cannot contain myself.
They showed a lot of stuff Corey liked.
They did. One game in particular.
I know. You know what? Everyone knows. Everyone already knows which.
I know. Everyone already knows why this smile is on my face. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild looks freaking amazing, and I cannot believe you're not as excited. I can't believe you're not excited at all.
I am excited. It's just it didn't make my top 5, mostly because I knew you were going to talk about it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been, but yeah, it looks awesome. The gameplay looks different than a lot of the Zelda games we have played. So,
yeah. A couple things I want to touch on before we get into our. We're just going to do like a top 10 game thing. I picked 5 games. Brian picked 5 games. We're going to talk about our favorite games of E3. We're not going to go through each conference. We're not going to do a 3-hour show or anything like that. We're just going to do our top 10, and we'll discuss them. We have a few honorable mentions in there. I picked a couple honorable mentions, not necessarily that I'm excited about, but I feel like we're important.
That we should talk about.
Like they need to be talked about.
Yeah.
And I just, man, gosh, I'm so excited. I can't contain my excitement. If you didn't know, this is the official podcast of the DNA Network. You can find the audio version of this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and every Thursday alongside the video version of YouTube and on digitalnerdadvocates.com. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Rate us and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how awesome we are.
Yeah, do that.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, buy a shirt from our Redbubble store. And now, Brian, our top 10 E3 games.
I mean, you might as well go first.
2016.
You already talked.
I was going to say this one for last, but I want to get it out of the way because it's
Yeah.
freaking amazing. My game of the show, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, coming to Wii U and NX in March.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I just want time out. Do you think it's weird? I mean, like, we knew that they weren't going to have the NX stuff there, but, like, the fact that they didn't just seemed odd.
It was a little
seemed,
odd.
It just seemed like that would have been a
They didn't
good
have
time
any Wii U stuff there either, though.
Uh-uh.
It was literally Zelda and Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they showed some stuff today that nobody's really interested in. Come on. Nobody cares about anything they showed today.
No.
The Treehouse Live, I watched it yesterday. Reggie kicked it off with the Zelda trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty excited for the trailer.
No, you were crying a little bit, brother.
No, the trailer didn't really grab me like I thought it was going to. The world looks great, but like it reminded me a lot of the Twilight Princess trailer. They had the bridge, they had Link riding across the bridge, they had like the landscapes showing the different types of areas you're gonna go to and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is Zelda. They showed the Master Sword in the podium, and like, okay, that was cool too. One thing that grabbed me. Voice acting.
Yeah, it was very good.
Zelda has voice acting.
Which is weird because never had.
Right. And like that's how the trailer opened up. It said, open your eyes. And it's like, this is how the demo opened up as well. They opened the demo up and the voice acting started. It said, wake up, open your eyes, Link.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I saw that.
And it was in this chamber that reminded me of the place where you fight the giant Goma in Ocarina of Time. Like that chamber. There's all these weird, like, almost Tron-looking lines in this chamber. And this like, coffin-type thing, I don't know what else to call it, opened up. And Link's inside. He's sleeping. And, like, this weird, like, water gel stuff faded out. And he wakes up and he climbs out. He's almost naked. I'm like, well, that's weird.
That's how I like my Link.
You like your Link naked?
Mm-hmm. Almost naked.
And like they start doing a little bit of the tutorial stuff, and I'm like, okay, whatever, tutorial stuff. Hopefully it's quick this time. The tutorial is literally 5 minutes long.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Like you walk up to this podium, you get the Sheikah slate, which is like your new, I don't know, almost looks like a phone.
Yeah.
And you know, you use that. That's the thing that's going to help you on your adventure. And you pick it up. The door opens to this hallway. And there's a couple chests. Teaches you how to open chests, whatever. And then it teaches you how to equip items. So like you find a shirt, you find some pants, and it teaches you how to equip this new equipment.
Yeah, you definitely need shirts and pants for this adventure.
Yeah. And you walk out of the hallway, and there's just this big opening, and it puts you out on this giant cliff, and you can see all of Hyrule. And Hyrule is huge.
Yeah, you never really knew it was that big.
Yeah, 12 times the size of Twilight Princess. Like, it's like 3 times the size of Skyrim. There's, like, I don't know how many main dungeons they said there were, but there's over 100 small dungeons.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm excited about.
And there's like,
it is such an open world.
And there's like something like 300 shrines, which are just like mini puzzles that you can
mini
find.
puzzles, yeah.
And like, that's cool. Like, that's cool. The Zelda we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, they literally just let you go. You don't know where to go. Like, it pans over Hyrule, and you see this abandoned church to your right, and like you just kind of assume that's where
you're gonna go.
And there's this old man outside, and he's voice acted, and he tells you some things, and then you pick up a stick, and you light a fire, you burn some grass, you go down to this campfire, you learn how to cook, and that's kind of it. Then you're off. That's how you go. And they said you can go to the final boss right from the start, which is freaking amazing. You don't have to do any story.
You can't even do that with Skyrim and stuff. You still have to go.
You don't have to do any of the story. You don't have to do any of the dungeons or whatever. You can go straight to the main boss and fight if you want.
I have a feeling you won't win.
No, I'm sure some like hardcore like Dark Souls.
Somebody will beat it. Somebody
will
eventually beat that, like without shirt and pants, probably.
Yeah,
just naked Link fighting its Ganon.
Yeah, and nowhere in this trailer is Link wearing the green tunic.
Yeah, which is weird because that's his iconic look, but I have a feeling that you'll get it.
Well, like, there's different armor sets that you can wear that make you stronger,
right? And
then there's different ones that make you faster. There's different ones that like make you resistant to cold weather because there's weather effects in this game,
and like fire,
and like the things that are kind of obvious from old Zelda games, but they're doing it a different way. Where like you know, in the trailer they showed Link wearing a full-on knight outfit, which presumably gives you strength and like makes you kind of a tanky Link, where like you can take more hits.
Right.
And man, dude, this game is coming out right after Horizon.
Oh, so
and like,
what are you gonna play?
You're gonna have to.
What are you gonna play first?
Well, I'm gonna play Horizon first because it comes out first. But I better hurry up and beat it so I can play Zelda. But you're going to need a new host for the show for a couple weeks.
I guess. I'll just bring the mic over to you, and while you're playing, you can talk.
Well, you'll be playing Skyrim, so it's not like it. Oh my gosh, dude. This game. And then, like, the second half of the demo, they showed off the amiibo functionality.
Mm-hmm.
And not the new amiibo. The Wolf Link amiibo from Twilight Princess HD. And there's some like little hooks to this where like you can't use it right away, obviously, but you tap it on the gamepad and you get a Wolf Link companion.
That's cool.
And like you can summon it once a day, but once all the hearts are gone, like it teleports back into the Twilight realm, and like you have to wait till the next day to use it. But
that's cool.
The hooks are like you can use it, but it only has 3 hearts unless you do the Trials of the Beast, which is like the new amiibo-only dungeon from Twilight Princess, the 50 floor challenge dungeon.
Yeah.
And like you gain hearts through that.
That's cool that they've like connected the two.
Yeah. And like all existing Zelda amiibo will work, all the new Zelda amiibo will work somehow. Not that like the amiibos do anything. I don't whatever. But yeah, man, Zelda's exciting. It's an exciting departure.
It's exciting that we're finally getting the Zelda game, and now that we've seen it at E3, it's finally happening. We've been waiting for a while for this game, so it's cool that, and it looks awesome.
It
looks amazing.
They announced this game in 2013.
That's what I'm saying. It's like The Last Guardian being
Yeah.
announced in what was it, 2007 or
Yeah,
something like that.
But something
and
tells me Zelda's going to be a little bit better than The Last Guardian.
I don't know. I have people who are really excited about The Last Guardian. That is not on my list.
Yeah, but
at all.
those games, like
It didn't.
Eco and Shadow of the Colossus,
do it
are
for me.
kind of like a little bit overrated. Sorry, but
Yeah.
like Shadow of the Colossus was
Shadow
a
of
cool
the Colossus
concept,
was cool. No,
was a cool
that was a
concept.
sweet game.
but it's not like international top 10 game of all time like some people are trying to say it is. I don't think.
I don't know.
But man, dude,
They have a
this,
case. It's pretty good, but
this
I'm
game,
not.
this Zelda game looks like a mix between Skyrim and Tomb Raider and a little bit of Uncharted, where like like in Tomb Raider when you scavenge for materials to craft your
Well, I don't
stuff.
want him to get away from Zelda. I don't want him to feel like I don't want to feel like I'm just playing a Nintendo version of Skyrim. I
Yeah.
still want it to be like
Yeah, well, that was my
Zelda.
concern too. And like, I was watching a lot of videos of people who went to E3 and played it and stuff, and they said it still feels like Zelda. The combat
okay, good.
still feels like
That's
Zelda.
what I want. I don't want them to like change that
like the
kind of stuff.
dodging and stuff. Oh, there's a jump button,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
They said the combat stuff still feels like Zelda. There's a lot of different tweaks that they've made to the traditional Zelda formula, but it still feels like Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. Zelda.
I can tell. That's clearly. I mean, and I knew you'd be excited. I am excited about the game. I'm just not gonna like go crazy because I've been waiting for it for like.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this game for like, let's be honest,
Since I knew,
For me,
since
since,
I heard
like,
the Wii U was coming
Twilight
out, I was
Princess,
like, oh
I've been
man,
waiting
yeah,
for this
sweet,
game.
new Zelda, new system, new Zelda, and it just never happened. So,
yeah. Interested to see
did they give
March.
2017?
Yeah, it's going to be a launch title alongside the NX and
Right,
come out
right.
for Wii U at the same
Well,
time.
I'm getting it for Wii U.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
And
gonna
I'm
get
definitely gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it for Wii U too. I
Yeah.
don't see. There's a lot of rumors going around about NX that kind of scare me, so I'm definitely getting this for Wii U for sure. But that NX discussion is gonna have to be a different day.
Yeah.
But man, this game, it looks cool. I wonder how the gameplay on NX is gonna like. Is it gonna look better on NX? Is it gonna like run at 60 frames instead of 30? Like, is there gonna be different? Is there gonna be like NX exclusive dungeon or whatever? That kind of stuff is gonna like kind of be in the back of my mind.
Right.
But out of everything I saw this week about Zelda, it looks cool. I'm super excited for Zelda. Nintendo
Yeah,
did it.
It
They
seems like
pissed
they're
me off.
doing it right, and like I would rather them wait and have to like not put it out for years and years and put out an amazing game versus like giving us a shitty one like a year or two ago.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Man, this game was supposed to come out last Christmas.
I know.
How much different is that game now than it was?
It's gotta be pretty.
Yeah.
A lot of changes, hopefully for the better.
Yeah. I wonder if games like The Witcher and Metal Gear coming out
Influenced it?
Yeah,
I'm sure it did.
I wonder how much studying they did about modern open world games. Because let's be honest, Zelda hasn't been a modern open world game.
No.
I'd say more like GTA was like the first modern open world game, GTA 3, where like you can go anywhere. Like there's missions in different parts of the city.
I'm sure there were ones before it, but for like consoles,
Yeah.
that might have been.
And like Zelda kind of still felt trapped on it in 64, all the way up through Skyward Sword, like that Ocarina of Time formula. You know, the story determines where you go. I mean, you can run around and go wherever you want, but like you can't really do much unless you're following the story.
Well, there was only the story to follow. There wasn't like side. I mean, there was some side stuff.
I mean,
but
like you could chase the ghosts and hunt them down,
Yeah,
and like the
there
bugs and
there
stuff.
was stuff you
But-
could do, but it wasn't this extensive.
Yeah, and this is the first time I feel like Zelda is modern.
Yeah, they finally brought it to this age.
Yeah.
This will be good.
All right, that's gonna end our conversation on Zelda. What's your first game?
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Guess that's a decent
Listen,
transition.
it's weird that they release all these new games, and let's be honest, like 10 isn't enough. Like I feel like there were so many better like other ones that just looked like
Right.
I'm gonna be in trouble here with money here, when these games start coming out. Because
Yeah.
there were so many games. I'm
most
like,
of those aren't coming out.
like
until
shit,
next
I don't
year.
even know what this game was before E3. Now I want it. Damn it. Like, even Injustice 2, I saw, like, just, like, the supers, and I'm like, oh, dude, now
Yeah.
I kind of want that game.
Yeah, I
So-
really want Injustice. Injustice looks awesome.
So, yeah, it does look good. And I'm like, shit, I had no interest in that game before E3. Now I'm like, I could buy that if
And
it...
it's like an RPG fighting game.
I
Like, you can
know,
upgrade
I
your
know.
character
But
throughout
it's
the
weird
story.
that my most... And it's not that weird, because if people watch this show, I have such a sick love for this game. And I've been wanting Skyrim, the Ultimate Edition, Special Edition, whatever they're calling it, to come. And not only are they bringing it, and the graphics look great.
I know, dude. It's not.
They were
just a
showing,
port.
it's not just a port, like, they showed the difference between the graphics.
It looks like they just went in and redid
Did
the
you
whole
see the
thing.
water?
Yeah.
The water looks real. My thing I'm most excited about, though, and this is no joke, is the mods.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I have always been jealous that PC gamers who played Skyrim had all these fantastic mods. You know, you could make the game feel more real. You know, that you had to actually eat and sleep. Like, that the elements actually affected you.
Yeah, and even
then there were,
more,
like, fun ones, like, oh, that the dragons are friendly, or I saw one where you had lightsabers instead of swords. And I don't know if all of these will be in it.
Right. Even like the little UI tweaks that they
Yes.
like item organization and like HUD, like transforming the HUD and stuff.
Those mods made that game 1,000 times better, and it's hands down, it's pretty obvious. So it's really cool that you finally get to do that, and that's what I'm really excited for. I mean, it's the same game. It'll have the DLC and everything.
Yeah, but I wonder if like the big mods will come. Like somebody remade Morrowind.
Well, I know
in
that
Skyrim.
some of the mods like added levels and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'll get those. I hope that they give you the ones that give you better character customization.
They're
because
doing a
it's
pretty decent job of allowing people to do kind of whatever they want on Fallout 4 for mods in
Yeah.
terms of mods because they're free.
right.
Like that's not copyright infringement if you're using it for free.
Yeah, and these will be free.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really excited for. Like I said, there's really not like a massive amount to talk about because it is Skyrim, just way better and with mods and that. I mean, that's what I was most excited for going into E3, and that's before I even knew about the mods and how good. Like, I was just excited if I thought I was getting the same looking game on Xbox One, PS4.
You were
which
gonna
is-
buy it.
I was gonna buy it. I was
regardless,
gonna buy it regardless. Now, when I see what they've done, I was hoping that it would look better. Like, and
Right.
I knew that it would, but I didn't think it would be this much.
Right.
Like there was a drastic improvement in the graphics. Like I said, the water, just for instance, is
Yeah,
was
and like
amazing.
the trees and
the
like
trees,
the textures,
the
on the
textures,
ground.
the people,
Oh,
the
did you
weapons.
see the horses, dude?
Yes. So they that's what I'm most excited for. I'm gonna end up buying it for both systems because that's the one game that me and my girlfriend she actually will play with me.
Right.
So we'll go through it together. So I'll just get them for both systems.
Are you gonna play on Xbox One though? Because I think mods are coming first. Xbox One.
Yeah, you're saying it's first Xbox One, so she might have to play on the PS4.
Yeah. I really don't think she cares all that much, but
Yeah.
yeah, I might actually check it out because it looks fantastic. And like, if they can just like if some modder can fix some of the issues I have with that engine.
Well, because that's what some of the best mods were is that they fixed a lot of that buggy
Yeah,
stuff.
which is like my biggest problem with Bethesda games.
I know it is.
Like
I just learned to deal with it
I
and
know,
just
and I
love it for what
can't
it
do
is.
that, dude. I've played too many other games that work. Like, I just can't do that. If somebody can fix something, like I would play Skyrim. I'll buy it. Like, it looks really good.
It's one of the best games I've ever played.
It looks super good.
I used to think Oblivion was the best.
Yeah,
Then I played Skyrim.
yeah.
Oblivion's still awesome, but it's tough to go back and play it after playing Skyrim.
Mm-hmm.
Because Skyrim just does like the combat and everything's just so much better.
Yeah. All right, I was gonna choose a different game first, but I want to get this one out of the way. Watch Dogs 2. It looks cool, dude. It looks way better than that first one.
I watched the trailer. I don't know if they showed any gameplay. I didn't watch it. I just saw a trailer for it.
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. I think like they got the movement down. It's not just like janky.
Well,
weird
you
soccer
remember how sweet the first Watch Dogs looked, right? Remember that? You remember that whole
I
fiasco?
remember how sweet it looked in 2012 when they showed the trailer
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah,
and then
it
I
looked
remember playing.
awesome, and it's like
the
this is
game.
not what you showed me. That's the one problem with like stuff like E3 when
Well,
they give you
Ubisoft
something like,
in particular.
Yeah.
because they showed the
they
Division.
show you something. Yeah, they fuck them. They show you stuff and you think you're getting one thing, and then you're like, I don't remember it looking like this. Like
Yeah.
that, and they even delayed that fucking game. So you're like, oh, okay, it's so maybe they delayed it so it actually would look like that. No, it just looked even worse.
Yeah. I think Watch Dogs 2 looks cool. I think it's taking in the hacker crowd. Like I think it looks more. I don't really know how to describe it. I think it looks more friendly, more open, and I like that it's set. I like that you are a young guy instead of like an old creepy soccer dad, like Aiden Pierce was in the first game.
Amen.
Like this guy looks real cool. He like the movement and stuff looks cool. I think it's cool how like you can listen to music while you're getting ready to infiltrate and hack something. I think a lot of this game looks cool, and I think it's going to be the Assassin's Creed of Watch Dogs, where like that first one was the proof of concept, had some good ideas that didn't quite
I hope you're
flesh
right.
it out,
I really hope you're right.
and like I just think this game looks cool, and I watched some gameplay that they were showing off, and I'm a little tired of every time I get on a website that stupid commercial comes on every time I want to watch a video, but other than that, like I think the city looks good. I think I just think it looks cool. I don't really know how else to describe it. I think Watch Dogs looks cool. And I wanted to like that first one so bad, but it was just
I wanted to. I finished the game, but it was tough. It was tough to keep playing.
Yeah, and like the best part about that first game was like the side characters that you couldn't play as.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've had that
I
discussion.
mean,
a
the
lot of
hacking
times.
stuff was kind of cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't that great.
It looks like it's embracing their GTA side a little bit more too.
But yeah.
Where like
That's kind of what they need
you
to do.
can kind of like do whatever you want anywhere you want type deal.
Yeah.
Which that first game was locked off. You had to. It was a typical Ubisoft game. You had to hack these towers to get into the next area, which was real dumb.
It was dumb, yeah.
And
But that's how all those games are, man.
yeah, and like you can go anywhere from the start, I guess, in this one.
Yeah.
Now I'm sure there's going to be towers that you have to hack to get missions,
Right.
or like, but I don't know. I think Watch Dogs 2 looks good, and I think, it's. I'm hoping they do the Assassin's Creed thing, because if not, this franchise is done.
But it wasn't like your second favorite game.
No.
This is no specific order?
No, this
right?
is no specific order for now. Zelda was my game show. I want to get that first, and then now I'm just kind of going through my list.
I don't really know if I have a game or show. If I did pick one, it probably wouldn't be on my list. I was trying to pick something different from yours. Can I go to my second game?
Yep.
Which is really my first game. This is what I'm actually most probably excited for. No,
What,
that's
Scalebound?
like no, not Scalebound. Scalebound's on my list though. I know you hated it. I will talk
I
about
didn't
that.
hate it. It just doesn't look great.
Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Scalebound though, because you're. Alright, I actually really that boss fight. Now I was excited about Scalebound before E3, and I think I was like the only person ever talking about it. I didn't see a lot of people, but that boss fight, and it looks like you can fight with other people.
Yeah. It's
So
4-player co-op.
It's 4-player co-op, but you don't have a lot of great co-op games anymore.
Right.
And then you ride a fucking dragon beast thing.
Yeah, but they could have done something more in that demo.
It's
to
just the
excite
demo.
me.
It's just a demo. Sometimes the demo really works in the game's favor. Sometimes you see it and you're like, I was expecting more, but then the game still. So I still have high hope. Scalebound was not number 2 on my list by any means. I was really excited by that boss fight. I thought.
Yeah,
it was
I
really
think the
cool.
different stages of the boss fight looks cool. I just think like Platinum is known for this like fast-paced action game, and like I'm expecting something before you hop on your dragon, something like Bayonetta or like
Oh, you were
something
expecting
like
that? Yeah, I don't know.
And,
I
like,
don't think it's supposed to be like that.
I see this weird looking like weird dude with a dragon arm shooting like magical bows and arrows at this giant monster. I'm like,
I'm hooked.
that looks okay, I guess. But then like the stuff I wanted to see was the dragon stuff, and they didn't show a whole
They didn't
lot.
show a lot of that, which was disappointing.
Which
but
I don't know if they showed anything outside of the
I
Xbox
just-
press conference
I
about
just-
that.
I didn't look over like too much for it.
But the best thing about that game looks like, oh, you can do these sweet combos with your dragon to take down these giant bosses, and they didn't show any of that.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to see from that game. Will that be in the game? I sure as hell hope so, because that's
That's
part
kind
of
of
the
what,
game
yeah. And
sounds
hopefully
cool.
you can like do combo moves with like other people too, and like
Yeah, where like, you are fighting in these giant environments, and you jump off a cliff, and your dragon comes down, and you jump on your dragon, and like your dragon's flying and you're running up the back of your dragon and jump on the boss.
I
and
still,
take out, like-
I still think that stuff's gonna be there.
yeah, like that's the stuff I wanted to
And
see.
if that's there, I know the demo didn't really, I think, help it as much as I was hoping before. But I still am excited about that game. I was excited before. They didn't, like I said, they didn't quite show everything that we wanted to see, which sucks sometimes when they do these. But I'm still excited about it. I am.
Yeah, I want to see what the customization is like too. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I don't want like if we're gonna play this game 2-player
Oh,
co-op,
I have a feeling you'll be able to customize
I don't want
the way your
our
guy looks.
freaking guys to look exactly the same.
Right. Yeah.
Like these weird
Like the Division, where everyone looks the same.
Don't get
So
started.
I still have high hopes for Scalebone. That boss fight had me intrigued, and I think it has the potential. That game on my list is probably has, I don't know how to label it.
The one thing that game has going for it is that multiple layered boss fight.
That's what I like. I like boss fights like that. I like integral boss fights.
Yeah.
I don't like these boring ass boss fights, and that's what some of my favorite stuff in all these games. So that's where that game really grabbed my attention. When I saw that boss, I was like, oh man, there could be something there.
Mm-hmm.
With being able to be on the dragon, not be on the dragon, have other guys in it with you, it could be a lot of fun. I'm not saying that it was the most beautiful looking game. I'm not saying that it was the best game there, but in my opinion, it has me intrigued and has the chance
Right.
to be something cool. I'm not saying it's going to be, because who knows sometimes with these games.
Right.
But if it turns out the way I think it's going to, I think it could be a surprise hit.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and I know a bunch of people, like at least within the people that we kind of talk to on the internet and stuff, like I know those people are excited for this game. I'm just concerned about how this game might do, considering like Platinum games don't really sell well, and like they're sticking this on Xbox One exclusively. Like I wonder how Xbox is gonna push that marketing, because I know this fall they're gonna be focusing on Forza and Gears and Halo Wars 2.
Yeah.
And this isn't coming out till what they say, March, April, something.
I don't remember hearing what the release date was.
So like I just want to know how Xbox is going to rally behind this title and kind of push it out.
Yeah, so that one's actually it's one of my ones I'm excited for, but also one of my most disappointed in the gameplay. But still, I wanted to give it a little shout out because I was so excited about it before E3. I feel like I had to this
trailer lacked with that first trailer, even though it was all CG. Like that first trailer really got me wanting that game.
I know.
Like the guy's fighting this monster. It sort of grows and evolves, and he whips on his headphones, calls his dragon, climbs up his dragon, and does this sweet move to jump onto the monster. Like that's what I wanted from this trailer.
I know, and we didn't get it.
And like I want to know how that's gonna work, but I don't know.
Yeah, I probably would have had something else in there, but you took a lot of the good ones.
Well, I wanted to make sure we had a lot of different games to talk about, and I picked ones that I knew that we would both like.
Yeah, I know
So
you did.
like-
So I had to reach.
Like
That one's a reach. Scalebound's a reach. It definitely probably isn't in a lot of people's top 10 for the best there, and I wouldn't blame them. But I'm still very optimistic about it.
Yeah. Let's move into a game that I know we're both excited for.
Yes, let's do one of those.
Gears of War 4.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Old man Marcus.
I mean, yeah, it basically was what I expected. I kind of, but I'm still excited. It doesn't mean you're not excited about it, even if you get something that you know that it's going to be. It looks like Gears of War. It's Gears of War. That's what it is.
Yep.
But I still can't fucking wait to play it.
I know that co-op campaign, Rod Ferguson, the producer of this game, said that this game is made to be played 2-player co-op, and they designed enemies within the campaign to get you ready for multiplayer.
That's cool.
They're called, I forget what they're called. They're called the Screechers or something, and they wall bounce and they use shotguns just like people do.
Just like people do, yeah.
And
because sometimes human players are all over the place.
Man, and
diving and shit.
Like the set piece that they showed in the demo was crazy. Like, there's been crazy set pieces in Gears of War before.
Yes.
But this, the power these new systems offer these games now, the set piece in that game looked amazing. It was like this weather. They had this weird lightning weather effect, and but also they had this wind effect. They had light and dark cycle through this thing. They had these crazy monsters that you're fighting, and like, man, this game looks so good. I cannot wait to play this co-op campaign. And like,
I can't wait to do the co-op campaign. I can't wait to do multiplayer. That's like usually one of my favorite things. So
yeah, and like at the very, I don't know if it was exactly the end of the demo, but like they're trying to get into this building because they're looking for the girl in the game, her mom, in this set piece, and like they're running towards this thing. They're fighting through. They're trying to fix this cannon, and they get to the door and they go to open it, and this giant monster comes out, which looks real cool. It kind of reminds me of that first time we saw the Berserker in Gears 1.
That's terrifying.
Where they like, it busts open the door, but it's like 1,000 times bigger and scarier. And like they're trying to take this down, and they finally get in. And then they showed off a couple other things, but like Gears is so exciting.
Yeah.
Horde mode 3.0.
Yep. Horde.
I wonder how that's gonna change.
I was never crazy about Horde mode.
I like Horde mode, but like I wonder how Horde's gonna change from 2 to 3, because like 2 they added a lot of shit. They added like, you didn't just have a wave based thing. You could like fortify where you were.
It was a lot different.
Yeah.
They added a lot of good stuff. They did make it a lot better. 2 was a lot better than the original. Hopefully 3 will be better than 2.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see multiplayer. You think Gridlock's gonna come back?
I hope so. It's my map.
Because it wasn't in Judgment.
It wasn't in Judgment, but it was in
It was in all the other ones.
It was in all the other ones. So
yeah,
you got to bring Gridlock back. Maybe not right away, but
yeah. I wonder if that'll be like a pre-order bonus or something.
Could be. It's just it's a very even map.
Yeah, it's a classic map.
It's classic. Map. It's even. It's very easy to understand Gridlock. Like it's not a very complicated map or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that'll make a appearance.
Yeah, I watched an interesting video on how they designed Gridlock.
How?
It was literally one of the first maps they designed, and they're like,
you can kind of tell.
They're like, let's just start with this basic half horseshoe shape, and this was before like the power weapons were a thing. They were playing around with loadouts,
right?
Where like everybody got a heavy weapon and everybody got an assault weapon and everybody got a pistol.
And I like that. Like it's just crazy that rush for that tower.
Yeah,
or that like, sniper is just insane.
Yeah, and like. They're like, let's start with that horseshoe. They built the tower, and they had the 2 lookout towers over here. That tunnel in the middle where the boom shot usually is was not there.
Right.
And like they were playing around with it. They're like, this map's fun, but how do we change it up? And then they're like, oh well, let's do what Halo did and add power weapons and just have you start out with a shoddy Lancer.
Right.
And that's kind of how it started out. And that's where the sniper ended up in the tower, and then the boom shot ended up in that tunnel where they ended up carving out that part of the level later. And like it was just really interesting to see like how they designed this level from like just this basic horseshoe shape and run at each other and kill each other to like this tactical map where you have to be super strategic when you want to go for those power weapons.
Right.
So it was really cool. It's really interesting. I think that was on IGN. But anyways. What's your next game, Brian?
The one that I wanted to talk about before you made me talk about Scalebound, Days Gone.
Yeah.
That might be my game of show. I know I love games. I love zombie games. Always have. I don't even know if you want to call these zombies. I don't think they are calling them zombies.
I don't know yet, but here's the thing. This game looks amazing, and like I watched Xbox's thing, and I was like, they announced State of Decay 2, which also looks really cool.
Right, that does look cool.
But like, I'm like, man, there are so many zombie games right now.
There are,
and like,
so then your question is going to be, how does this one stand out? Right?
Yeah.
Like, why does it stand out? And this is why, in my opinion, it kind of has an arcade style to it. Like in games like The Last of Us, like you were never getting attacked by hordes of zombies.
Yeah,
right?
But how you approach them, you had to be real tactical.
Right,
about how you
were getting attacked by like 3, 4, maybe 5 at max. Did you see how many zombies were attacking you?
Dude, that gameplay demo they showed after the conference.
I was concerned for that guy.
You saw there was like 40 zombies crawling out of this one window. I was like, how's he going to survive? And he's mowing these guys down. And then all of a sudden, like he climbs up on the roof. There's like 50 more, and he's mowing them down. and he takes them all out when he's like secluded on that one bridge
Yeah.
on that water tower.
Yep.
Takes them all down. The camera pulls out.
And they're
Dude,
everywhere.
there's probably like 500 zombies on the screen at one time, and they're all moving super fast.
Now, I've heard a lot of comparisons to the movie World War Z. That these zombies remind them of those zombies. And those zombies are terrifying because they're fucking fast. And they can jump and run and climb things, which these ones could.
Yeah.
There was one time where he went either under something and he like kind of blocked it off. And then they were coming up over the building.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of has an arcadey type feel. It looked almost kind of
looked
like a
like a-
third person Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Where there were that many zombies. It looks cool.
It kind of reminded me of a mix between like they're going for a sort of serious tone of The Last of Us.
Yes, it
in
kind of
terms of
had
story,
it kind of had a feeling.
and you
like
wanted
that.
to feel for that character. But then they threw like
The
some Dead
gameplay is
Rising
different
on
though.
it,
Yeah,
and they just threw a bunch of zombies in there. You're like, holy shit!
I feel like it's a mixture between Left 4 Dead and The Last of Us, and that's like I think it just stands out because you don't have like Left 4 Dead is kind of a game like that where it's got that horror, but there's really no story. I mean, there is, but there isn't. Like you just go and you play different maps.
Right.
This has a story plus that Left 4 Dead feel. The melee executions were awesome when you did get a one-on-one encounter with a zombie. The way that he was killing them was very cool. I don't think you're gonna get a lot of those. I feel like it's gonna be a lot of like just oh my gosh the amount. Now again, it's the demo. Somebody was complaining because
He had unlimited ammo.
He had unlimited ammo. I'm not sure that'll be. I highly
Oh,
doubt.
I
highly doubt that he's gonna have unlimited.
Plus,
ammo
I feel like you're gonna find yourself running more than you're fighting.
Yeah, I feel like if I would have been playing that situation, I would have been running a lot more.
Yeah.
But I would have been terrified. Like
Yeah, that demo was strictly to get you excited for this game.
and it worked.
Yeah.
Like it was cool. I think a lot of people were comparing him to Daryl from The Walking Dead, the biker vest. He came in. He started out on that motorcycle, which was cool. It looks like you have a motorbike. I don't know if it'll be open world.
Yeah.
It looked like they could have been. It looked like there is a chance that it might be.
Yeah, I wonder how open world it might be. I wonder if it's going to be like, what do they call it in Uncharted, where like there's these big, huge open spaces to explore, but it's still a linear experience.
Right. I don't know what that's called, but I think it's going to be like that.
Yeah. So, and the main guy in that game is the guy that played Starkiller from Force Unleashed. So that's cool. I like him. He's cool.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He's a good actor. He's been in Battlestar Galactica too and other stuff, so he's very cool. Yeah, I think Days Gone. That might be like I was very very excited for that game. After E3, I didn't know much about it before. It wasn't one that was on our radar.
It wasn't announced yet.
It wasn't announced.
Like the original title for the game, Dead Don't Ride. That was.
I think I've heard Dead Don't Ride.
Yeah, that was leaked a while ago, and then they changed the name.
Oh. Anyways, that one ended up being probably, if I had to pick a game of show for me, it would have been that one.
Yeah, dude, like Microsoft has been pushing out a lot of exclusives, but like in this kind of transition into my next game, which I know you're excited for too. Sony is starting to deliver the exclusives I care about.
Yes.
Which is something I've been waiting from PlayStation
So
for
I already
a long
I already know which one you're
time.
going with.
And like games like Horizon, games like Days Gone, and the game we're going to talk about next, God of War. They all make me care about their exclusives.
Yeah, those are games like God of War is a game where you'll buy a system.
Yeah.
For that game. A lot of other exclusives that are out there. There aren't any Xbox One exclusives out right now that I'm like, I gotta buy an Xbox One just so I can play that game.
Yeah, the one game that I bought Xbox One for was Gears 4.
Yeah, Gears. No, I'm saying out like
right
now.
Yeah, like when I bought my Xbox One, I bought it with the intention of like, okay, I kind of know what's coming. It's the same reason why you buy a Nintendo system. You know you're gonna get a Mario and a Zelda, which.
Let's say with Xbox, you're gonna get a Gears and Halo.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a God of War and an Uncharted on PlayStation.
And a Forza every year. God, dude. Take a year off.
I like Forza.
I know, but dude, that game comes out every year.
Yeah. People
It
buy
looks good though.
Yeah.
Horizon 3 looked good.
People buy it.
Anyways, that's going into our next game, God of War. I don't know if it's called God of War 4.
All they said was God of War.
That's all they said was God of War.
They just had it. I have to say, I loved his beard.
Yeah.
I feel like he was. I really feel like every male
Action hero.
no, just any male in a video game needs to have a beard.
Yeah. Yes. What about Nathan Drake?
Should have a beard. Should have a beard.
Joel had a beard.
Joel's awesome in his own way.
Yeah.
No, every character should have a beard. Kratos looks awesome with a beard.
Dude, Kratos looks sweet. And
Because he has
when
a
this-
beard.
When this demo opened up, I was like,
And a giant axe.
yeah, when this demo opened up, like you saw the boy
Yeah, and I was like, what is
like
this
playing with these like handmade toys.
Toys, yeah.
What I'm assuming. And I'm like, what is this game? I thought it was the Horizon demo. I thought they were opening up with the Horizon.
So did I. I thought
And
that
I'm
maybe
like-
this is Horizon.
And like this.
And then you hear a voice.
you hear a deep voice, and you're like, well, that's not creative.
Like
Like,
that? No.
because they got a new voice actor. And
It was
like,
it was
you're like-
deep though. And you're like,
Yeah,
man,
it
this
was
sounds
deep.
familiar.
And I was like, well, that sounds different. And like you just see Kratos emerge with
yeah,
like
and the
this
crowd goes
wolf pelt,
and the crowd goes
full
crazy.
symphony orchestra opening up this show. Like you see Kratos walk out and start like teaching the boy.
Yeah,
how
he's
to
taking
do
him
things.
hunting. He's gonna take him hunting.
Yeah, and he was like.
He's rough about it too. He is
he's
not.
like-
I imagine it's.
Well, he's teaching the kid how to be a god. This is
I know,
our point.
but I
He's
just-
teaching the kid how to be a god, not a son. He's
Yeah,
teaching him how to be
well.
a god. And like they did confirm, this is not a reboot. This is literally a continuation.
Yeah,
of
this
God of
is
War 3.
this is taking place after God of War 3. They have
Yeah.
come out and said that,
And like
which is
you know how
which is crazy.
God
I didn't
of
think
War
they were going
always
to do
opens
that.
up with these huge set pieces. Like God of War 2 opened
Yes.
up fighting the Colossus. God of War 3, you were scaling Gaia, trying to take down these gods. This had a more subtle opening, which was like
This game was very
this is
different.
already a different approach.
This game was very
You're
different.
following the boy, and you're following this moose, right, or a deer or
It's
something.
a deer, I believe.
And like you're following him through this snow, and like I was trying to like look around to see like, okay, well it's rumored to be Norse mythology,
Yes.
and you can already see it. Like you can see it on his bow strap, like the Nordic.
He's got the
Lettering.
axe. He has the axe instead of his chain blades. Apparently, he got rid of those.
Yeah.
I'm sure, you know what? I bet you they'll make an appearance.
I bet you some type of chain something.
Chain.
And like you following the boy, and then it looked like you play as the boy partially because like he's shooting the arrow, and like Kratos is yelling at him,
Yeah, he's not shooting it well.
and then all of a sudden like this giant monster comes out, and
Yeah,
that's
man.
when God of War kicks in. Like
Yeah.
you're fighting, but it's a more strategic God of War. Like it was a more of a run up, hit him back.
It was
up,
definitely
dodge.
not the same God of War where you're
No.
just slashing all over the place. Like every hit had a purpose.
Right. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna hold L2 and like do these flurry attacks.
Yeah, and
like,
just no. It seems like it was a much different fighting game, one that I like more. I still love God of War, but
Yeah.
I like ones like this where like every like input of a button has a direct meaning versus just like randomly hitting stuff and like, oh yes, I finally got him.
yeah.
It was very cool. Like the way he killed those skeleton monster demons, whatever they are, was cool.
Yeah.
When he threw his axe,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Yeah, and like when he's fighting the monster yells out, "You will never conquer Valhalla," which is the Nordic Mount Olympus, pretty much,
Right.
where all the gods live. And like you see him back up, and he's like, you see this little rage meter up in the left hand corner,
Yeah.
and it fills up. You see it filling up while he's like yelling at the kid, and then he like takes a deep breath, and it goes back down.
Mm-hmm.
But like once that rage meter fills up, it said "Unleash Spartan Rage," which they showed the sticks.
It's the sticks.
And like that's when like the God of War signature, I'm guessing it's going to be a quick time event where like he rushes at the boss, tackles it, jumps up, like tries to rip its horn off, and then it switched to the perspective of the kid where he's getting ready to shoot the boss, but hits Kratos instead. And then that's kind of like where the demo ends, where like,
Right.
Kratos is like, that's like he's like scolding the boy for hitting him.
But they kind of had like a touching moment.
Yeah.
Which is not something I didn't expect any sort of touching moments from a God of War trailer.
Yeah, it's way different from like to advance the story. Let's go in this pool and have a threesome with these chicks.
Yes,
and
yes. This is very different. This is the first God of War game where I actually care
Yeah.
about the character.
yeah,
I've always been excited for God of War games. Like, oh yeah, I'm really excited, but I never really cared about.
But it's not like
Kratos.
you're going into God of War expecting a story like The Last of Us.
Right. Like I never really I cared about Joel and Ellie. You actually you cared. You never really cared about Kratos.
I know,
You were just
you're
like,
like-
I just want to fuck shit up.
Oh, he's this angry dude that killed his wife and his kid, and now
I know they actually made you kind of like Kratos. I don't even think I'm the good guy here.
Yeah, and like this one is just like I really feel for Kratos right now,
Yeah.
and like I want to see how this father-son relationship builds out. I want to see, is the kid following you? Does something happen to the kid where that causes Kratos to like scale Valhalla and take down the Nordic gods? Like, what's happening here? Does Kratos die and the kid end up taking over? Like,
I don't know. It's gonna be, it could be like where you're gonna play as Kratos for most of the game, obviously. But like just like in The Last of Us, when you played as Ellie for a little bit when Joel was injured, could be something like that where Kratos could get captured or something. You might have to play as the son,
right?
Which maybe doesn't sound cool right now, but like that one when you were playing as Ellie, that was actually some of the best parts of The Last of Us. I'm not really trying to compare the two because they're so different, but just like the Joel and Ellie dynamic could be similar with this.
Yeah, and one other thing I noticed was like when Kratos interacted with something, there's an RPG mechanic because there's like knowledge plus 32.
Right.
Then you got equipment to probably upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. So like, I know God of War has always had this weird upgrade system where you collect those red orbs, but this looks like it's going about it a different direction, which I thought was cool.
I think
And this is the direction God of War needed.
I think this is going to be the best. I mean, God of War 3 was awesome.
Yeah.
So was 2. So was 1. I mean, it's hard to say which one's the best.
Ascension was the only one that
Ascension's
was not
the only
great.
one that's like clearly not in the top.
Basically Ascension was like an expansion to 3. Like it felt like God of War, but it was just
Yeah, it felt like just some DLC.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like, so I don't really count that game. I feel like this one could be the best
Mhm.
if it's done the way I think it's going to be done, and there's definitely more of a story to it, and more of an RPG, and
Absolutely.
it
This
could
game-
be fantastic.
Yeah. No release date for this game though, so it could still be a little far ways out. But when did Ascension come out? To 2012? 2011, 2012?
I don't know.
So they've been working on this game for 4 years. I'm assuming it's going to try to be their big holiday game next year.
Yeah, I would think.
Their lineup next year would be like Days Gone, God of War.
I could see that coming
Next
up
fall.
Yeah, I think next fall. Next fall's going to be
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
yeah. It's next 2017 is going to be freaking.
2017 is going to be a great year for gaming. Maybe one of the best that we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hop into, I guess, another game here that I know we've talked about. I don't know how a lot of other people feel about this game. For Honor.
Yeah. I was like last year's demo. I was like, this is a cool concept, but
Yeah, I'm not.
at first I thought it was just like a PvP only type game. Where
No,
like,
there's definitely a story.
Yeah, well, this year they showed off the
Yes.
story. I'm like, okay, this looks kind of like a mix between like a Dark Souls-ish type where your weapons have weight to them. You need to time your attacks, sort of like dodge and stuff.
When
like
you
that.
attack, like if we're doing PvP, like I can block, and then you can block up, left, right, and probably like down. So like if you're attacking me and you attack to my left and I block to the right, you're gonna hit me for a good damage.
And
But
it
if I
looked like-
block it, and just the sound that like the
yeah.
steel on steel made was just fantastic.
Yeah, that it looks like the right stick is how you control where you're blocking, which I wonder how that's going to affect camera if it's like a fixed camera angle.
I don't know how they're gonna do that, but I mean, this was a game I was excited for. I like the idea of PvP melee combat. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. This is a game, but like anytime you put samurais in a game,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
What are the three it's Vikings, Samurai, and Knights.
Yep.
So I bet the Vikings are going to be more the heavy melee type guys.
Yeah, the
Samurai are
knights
gonna
will be,
quicker.
and the knights will be just like the medium, like
Yeah.
like how they always are, like
Uh-huh.
paladins or everything. They're always just balanced at everything.
Right.
So like the Vikings will probably do a lot of damage. The knights probably. I mean, the samurais are still gonna do a lot of damage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I don't know how they're gonna like balance that stuff out, but the gameplay I saw to me, it was one of the best looking games.
Oh yeah, for sure. By far, those environments looked
I mean, it was
amazing.
It was one of the, if we were going on visuals alone, it would definitely be in the top 2 or 3 for the whole E3. I think was For Honor. I don't know how many people are going to get behind this game. It's going to have a niche. Like I know people, you're either going to be really into this or you're going to want nothing to do with it.
Right.
It's kind of one of those games, and for me, I think it's a game that I would really like to play.
It's a big risk for Ubisoft, and it's a cool risk. Like
It's
when companies take risks.
It's
like
a different
this.
game. We don't have a game like that out there.
No.
So I like to, I like games that are a little different. Like I'm just saying, like your top games are pretty much all sequels and stuff, which is fine because they did great. A lot of them look good. I'm picking out some different
Right.
ones that I hope will turn out good. Scalebound. I don't know. For Honor's another one. I don't know. I think Days Gone will be good.
I think Days Gone.
I think that's like gonna be great. That's one, but I'm gonna have to keep listening for Scalebound, For Honor.
Yeah, let's talk about that demo for For Honor for a minute. They showed a little bit of the Viking campaign.
Yes.
And you look like this big hulking Viking with an axe.
Right.
And like,
it seems like there were 2 types of enemies in it.
I think there were 3. There was like
were like grunts, which you just basically
and then there's like the medium guys,
Yes.
and then like the guy at the door seemed like a bigger.
Yeah, and you kind of actually had to like battle him. These like grunt types, you're just gonna fuck them up with a light or heavy attack, which will be like left trigger, right trigger. Same as it always is. And I mean, it's satisfying to kill them.
Yeah.
The kill animations were cool. It kind of reminded me of Rise. I don't know if you ever played
That's
that.
exactly what it reminded me of.
And I actually really liked that game. I really did. I loved the kill animations and everything, and that's what this game most reminds me of is Rise, but hopefully done better with PvP. That's basically what it is. So
I'm surprised Rise didn't have PvP, by the way.
Well, it was. I mean, that was like a release game, and that still to this day is one of the best looking games that have come out next gen.
Well, that Cry engine is just ridiculous.
I mean, that game looked awesome. I think that's the reason why I'm so into For Honors, because I did like Rise. I enjoyed that game. I had fun killing people so many different ways to kill people.
Right. But anyways, you saw the Viking like make its way to the samurai fort, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah.
And like he's taking on these medium-sized guys, which look like they could take you out if you're not being
right.
careful.
Yeah. I mean, like the grunts, you're just gonna fuck them up.
Yeah.
But like the medium-sized guys, you're gonna probably have to try to block at least, maybe try to deflect their shot. And then you're gonna get the bigger guys, or like the bosses / mini boss, whatever you want to call it, where you're actually it's gonna be like a fight where you're gonna have to dodge and do different things to try to kill them.
It's going to be a tactical fight. You're actually going to have to put some thought into it.
Yes, you're not just going to be able to swing wildly.
Yeah, and like, I think that's the coolest part of this game is like there's going to be all kinds of battles that are going to make you have to think. And what if you have to fight 2 of these guys at the same time?
Right.
Or like, how tactical is it going to be when there's like 2 grunts and a medium guy, or like a medium guy and a heavy guy? And like that all seems really cool to me. And like, I wonder if this game's going to have a co-op campaign, or if like it's just going to be PvP's the only multiplayer.
I think PvP will be the only. I don't think it'll be co-op campaign.
But I think it's cool in the way like the Viking was scaling the mountain, or not the mountain, the wall of the fort, and he comes up and just takes out all these grunts with one swing. And he's the only one that makes it in this story mode, and like you take on the heavy, and that's how the demo ended.
Right.
It was just like it was cool.
I still am very excited for that game.
I could totally get behind this game.
I know there's going to be people out there who that's not going to be your thing, and that's.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a niche title, but it's going to be. I think this is one of those games that's gonna live or die by its hardcore following.
I think it'll. I mean, I think people will get it, but I don't know. It's not going to blow anybody away.
Yeah.
I think the game will blow me away, but like the numbers.
I think it's going to have a pretty decent hardcore following though.
Yes,
for a while
so
at least, because there's nothing
something
else
different.
like it.
It's just
I think this is kind of aiming for that crowd that like is interested in Dark Souls, but that game is like way too intimidating for them.
Yeah, Dark Souls
sort of.
stuff.
And like because that's kind of what it reminds me of a little bit.
It reminded me of Rise.
Yeah. So I think it looks cool. I'm definitely gonna play it. It looks cool. All right, we're gonna move to my last game in my top 5, which was very close to beating out Zelda. It was beating out Zelda until I saw the Zelda gameplay demo. But Horizon Zero Dawn looks really good.
It looks awesome.
It looks freaking great. And it makes me wonder, like, if Wii U was just as powerful as Xbox One or PS4, like, what would Zelda look like then? Like, that's what this game makes me
I
think.
know, because I don't know, mechanical dinosaurs. I don't know what else. What else do I need to say?
Yeah, and, like, there's this cool part of the demo where, like, she's stalking this animal through the tall grass, and she's crawling through the grass, and, like, she shoots it with this pulse arrow.
Yeah, she has some,
And, like...
it's just weird, because, like, when you first see her, you're like, this chick's like a cave woman.
Yeah. And,
But
like...
then she's got some high-tech stuff.
Yeah, it looks like they understand technology, but they're almost afraid of it to an extent.
Yeah, and it looks like the stuff that you're supposed to be collecting, I don't remember, from like these mechanical dinosaurs, they don't really show you or tell you what the big picture is, which is good,
Yeah.
I think, because that's why you want to play the game. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know what she's collecting all this stuff for. I don't think it's just to build new weapons or anything like
No,
that.
I think, like...
Because you're supposed to, there's like actual stuff you're supposed to collect off of them. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it's called.
Yeah, it's almost like their hearts. but
Yeah,
it's-
right. So I don't know what the big picture is, but
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Like, after this demo, they released a bunch of stuff on this game. It takes place 1,000 years in the future. Humanity has abandoned the planet. Like, the scientists and stuff have abandoned the planet because basically Terminator happens where the machines take over. And the less fortunate start
stuck.
forming. They're stuck here, and they're forming tribes to stick together.
yeah, hell yeah, you got
That's how this plays out. And Aloy, which is the girl, is like an outcast in this tribe because she's somehow connected to the humans that have abandoned
right.
Earth, and she understands the technology more than they do.
She might have been a scientist or something before.
Yeah, and like she's kind of the outcast of the tribe, where like a lot of them don't really like her, and like she's on a journey to find out who she is. But there's also a secondary journey to finding out like maybe there's more to this world than like how we live, sort of thing. So I think it's gonna be cool. I honestly think Horizon could be Sony's version of Zelda if they market it right.
If they market it right, yeah.
Because there's this vast open world you can explore it like Tomb Raider. That's kind of the vibe I got from like the bow play and like just the action on screen. Or like she can use her bow to like
Like a
she
melee.
can like rodeo these things and start like reprogram to ride them.
It seems like there's a lot of cool shit
Yeah.
that you're gonna be able to do.
Yeah, and like it is an open world game, and they did the same thing that Zelda did. They put her at the top of a cliff, and
They
they showed the map, and they said you can go here, you can go there, you can go there anytime you want. Those monsters might be bigger. You may need to level up, but you can at least go there. They didn't really show much more than that, except for combat and gameplay, and everything they showed was really cool. And like, it's a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably Sony's. I'm gonna go out and say it might have been like their best looking game almost.
It looked good.
Yeah, like all Sony's games look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they're doing this, but they're doing it, and it looks great.
Well, that's what we expected with these new consoles.
Right. I mean, this is what we expected 2 years ago.
Right.
These consoles,
Well,
but we're finally getting
sometimes, I mean, if you look at 360 games, when they got released,
True.
and 2 years later, they looked a lot better.
there. True. You look at like Perfect Dark Zero, and then you look at Gears of War 3. And,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So hopefully we'll continue to see improvements.
yeah, and
So yeah, you're obviously very. So you obviously your top two games, Zelda and
Zelda and Horizon.
Horizon, which
I
I,
think-
don't blame you. Those are
My order would be like Zelda, Horizon, Gears, God of War, Watch Dogs. I think would be my order from the ones that I picked.
yeah. I'd have a tough time with the ones that
I think I would trade Watch Dogs for Days Gone, probably. In terms
I would
of like
put
top 5.
I would put God of War definitely on my list. That's one of the ones I'm very excited for. Zelda, I'm still not putting on there
Yeah,
because I'm mad at him.
yeah. Well, Skyrim's on your list, so you don't really need Zelda. But
Last game, we don't really need to talk about it a lot. This is a game that again I like zombie games, so I'm gonna have zombie games on here.
a lot of people are excited about this.
Dead
game.
Rising
I wanna
4.
I want to talk about this.
There's
game.
only one thing I need to say. Tyrannosaurus, flamethrower.
It's true. It was cool. Dude, did you see that part in the trailer where he had on this like mech suit? And he was swinging this giant hammer thing.
Well, he picked up like a.
It was like a lamp pole with.
He
like
picked up like a lamp pole and the concrete was still on it. I mean, it's Dead Rising. That's what you're gonna get. You know, graphically, it's Dead Rising.
Yeah.
The reason you play this game is for the weapons.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with the weapons. It's obviously based around the holidays. You had a candy cane crossbow and.
Yeah, that was
playing
cool.
Christmas music during the trailer.
Yeah.
It's sweet that it's Frank West. It's cool that they're even going to be in a mall a little bit. That's a throwback to the very first one when they were in a mall.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited for it. The weapons look sweet.
Yeah.
In this game, the story doesn't really fucking matter.
No.
That's not why you play it. I don't know what the story is. Don't give two shits. I want sweet weapons to kill as many zombies as I can.
The
vehicles look cool. They had the one that you could shoot, the catapult where they were shooting them out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, there's not a lot to say on Dead Rising 4. They showed me what I wanted though, and that was different weapons.
It looks like
that's what they gave me.
It looks like they're trying to capture what made the first game so special, but bringing it up to date.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that because it's like they're going back to the mall, which he was still outside. It's not gonna be specifically in the mall like the first game, where the only time you ever went outside was the courtyard, which was in like the middle.
Right.
And then the second and then the third game is all outside. The
third game was cool though.
The third game was awesome. That was my favorite one out of the three. So they're combining like 1 and 3, which is good. Again, story doesn't matter. They didn't need to show any because there really isn't a story. There's a zombie and you're just trying to survive.
Right.
And you're just picking up shit. And they are killing them. And then the weapons look sweet. They showed a lot of weapons.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I can't even remember them all. I know like there was the combat suit, the different vehicles. Obviously he had the barbed wire bat. He had the like the crossbow that shot the like fireworks and the Roman candles. He had the shotgun. My favorite was still the Tyrannosaurus. I don't know. It was a dinosaur that was a flamethrower. It was a dinosaur head. I don't know what kind of dinosaur it was. That shot fire out its mouth. I'm sold. I'm in. Yeah, you got me with that.
Yeah. It was
the combat suit was very cool too.
Yeah. Like I really liked what I played of 3. I didn't play very much, but I liked it, and I don't know why I didn't finish it. I think
it's a great game. It was a lot of fun. It was very cool. The weapons were really cool in that too.
I may need to borrow it from you and just.
Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun. That's like that one. I think was the first one they really started doing vehicles, and they did them very well. That one actually had a story that was halfway decent.
Yeah.
Like
for a Dead Rising.
Game.
Yeah.
And I liked the character. I have no problem going back to Frank West, but I like the guy that they used. I don't even remember his name, but he was like a mechanic. So it made sense that he was able to put together some sweet ass shit, and the weapons were so cool. The best is when you get like so many kills, you get like 10 or like you can upgrade your guy to eventually you can lower it. But if you get so many kills like in a row, real fast, you can do like a special move with the weapon.
Right.
And that's what I think they were showing off with some of that stuff. So
yeah. The best part of that trailer for me was the mech suit where he just picked up the lamp pole and just swung.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, he like swung in a circle.
Yeah.
Game looks great. It's again, I like zombie games. So.
New team too, so I mean, I'm interested what ideas they're gonna bring to the game. We got a couple honorable mentions that we want to talk about.
Yeah. Just
for a little bit. Like they're not necessarily games that I'm excited for, but they're games that we need to talk about, I feel like.
Mine you don't really need to talk about. There's 2 other games I'm kind of excited for.
All right, you want to talk about yours first?
Yeah, I mean, Battlefield 1.
Yeah,
I was very impressed with it. I thought that it looked awesome and they captured the time, that era very well. It just, I mean, I like games like that. I've been wanting the shooters to go back, so I kind of had to give that a shout out. There's really not a lot to say. It was just, it's Battlefield.
It looks
great. Cool. I just watched like the giant battle,
the Zeppelin out of the sky.
Yeah, and then the being in the tanks, that was cool.
Yeah.
And the plane battles, it's just cool seeing like those old ass planes up there doing. That was cool. Not a lot to talk. I am gonna get that game. I'm very excited for it, but I don't think I need to go in depth about it.
A lot more melee weapons in this game than I thought.
Yeah, and
swords.
I love bolt action, like shot. They're not really snipers.
They're
but that was like their rifles back then. So that was cool seeing those in action. And then South Park, The Fractured Butthole. You have to talk about it because it looks
so good.
They went out and they made the combat even better. Now you can move around. Before you were stuck in a place.
It's like a grid-based battle.
It's a grid-based battle, which can change a lot of stuff up. You can do combo attacks with your other guys. It just...
let's talk about the story real quick for South Park. It's like Cartman has this grand idea that they're going to play superheroes and they're going to film their own superhero movie and make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And like on the chalkboard, they have it all planned out. Like here's phase 1. There's going to be 2 Coon movies, and then there's going to be like the Kyle movie, and then each kid has their own movie and moving into like their version of the Avengers.
Right.
And like they start fighting because Cartman gets like 3 movies in their version of phase 1, and everybody else gets left out.
Right.
And like it's basically turns into their version of Civil War.
Yes.
Which is what Fractured Butthole.
And that's what's hilarious about it. And that's like the thing when they did the first one. Like, and they kind of did that medieval theme. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that first game was hilarious.
It was good.
Like, you're obviously still the new kid, and at the end of the first game, you become king of South Park or whatever the kids.
I can't remember what the castle was called.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But in this one, like, since they're switching games, you start, like, since they're switching to superheroes, you start back down at the bottom.
Right.
Which is, like, a hilarious way to just say, oh, you're still the new kid, and Cartman calls him a douchebag. And like you go down, the demo they showed, Cartman's recruiting the new kid for his team, and like he's walking around the table and he's like, "Take a seat."
That's kind of how the first one started. They were recruiting him for whichever faction he was going to join.
Yeah, and every seat you touch, he's like, "That seat's for Kyle. That seat's for Stan. That seat's for Clyde. Whatever." And finally, you get to the last seat, and he's like, "Okay, you can sit there." And like then it goes into like your superhero. There's like 12 different classes you can be. There's like the speedster.
There's 12? Because there's only 3.
Yeah, they only showed off 3, but there's 12.
Wow.
Confirmed. And like you can mix and match the different abilities, obviously, but they give you like the base to start out as. And like I just thought that was really like a clever way to do that. And like you walk up to the Rubik's Cube and like it's like for galaxy destruction or whatever if you try to play with it, and Cartman yells at you, and then Cartman's mom yells at Cartman, and it was just really funny.
I just like that they changed the combat was good in the first one.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that they changed it to a grid where you can move around, and that changes up a lot of stuff. There's going to be like stuff blocking you where some attacks you can shoot over that object so you can actually use it as cover. It's going to be a little bit more tactical, which the gameplay was fantastic from the first one.
Yeah, the first
Which you wouldn't expect from a South Park game.
Yeah, especially the way that game went through development hell, switching teams and companies and everything.
So I was really excited to see it for the first time. I had a feeling it was going to be good, and it is a game that I will play.
If you buy this game, you get the first game for free to download on Xbox One and PS4.
They do stuff, and the first one, if you haven't played it, it is a fantastic
It's probably real
game.
cheap right now, and it's backwards compatible on Xbox One.
It's good.
So like, if you haven't played it, it was one of the best games that year. And like it got left behind because that was the year the new consoles came out.
Yeah, I think it got left behind too because South Park. You don't think it's going to be a fantastic game, and it ended up being a surprise hit and one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, plus it was like released in that time right when PS4 and Xbox One were announced.
Yeah, it was like a great period in between where
there was a bunch of good games released in that time period too. They had that new Borderlands game, South Park, Splinter Cell.
I don't know anything about this stuff. Unfortunately, what didn't make my list is the Crash Bandicoot. I know I always bring up Crash Bandicoot. They're gonna bring.
They're remastering.
If these remasters work,
they
say get a new game.
If
they don't work,
they're remastering them from the ground up for PS4.
Fuck yeah, man!
So
Crash.
I assume that means new graphics and everything, updated gameplay, whatever. And then they're also putting them in Skylanders. So there's gonna be a little Crash figure for you.
There you go,
weird Crash fans.
He's coming back. He didn't make my list though.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to my honorable mentions, which I'm not super excited for these games just because, like, one of them I don't even know what it is. But the first one, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Can you imagine playing that in VR?
Holy shit. This is the first confirmed
I know. That's why I'm bringing it up.
PlayStation VR game.
I just could not imagine doing that.
Dude,
like there was one part where they're climbing down a ladder. Did you see that one? And I wouldn't want to turn around when I got to the bottom.
Yeah,
I would be like,
dude, I was watching the trailer on my laptop on a screen this big, and they walk into a room full of mannequins. I'm like, nope.
No, don't want to.
nope.
No, I mean that is. I mean, it's really cool that like that almost makes me want to get a VR because that just seems. I wanted to play a game like that where it feels like you're actually in that fucking mansion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that would just scare the shit out of me. And
Yeah. This game, they're going back to the mansion.
yes,
Everything is changing up. Where like, it's first person.
this is.
This
I don't
real?
know if I like that it's first person. I mean, I don't know if they did that because of the VR. Because like, kind of like, if you're gonna do VR, it has to be first person.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to be one of those games where you can switch between both.
I hope so, because to me, Resident Evil should be in third person.
They're trying to capitalize on that. Outlast did so well.
I know,
And that team is so
I
small with a
know.
low budget that Capcom has such a giant team with a huge budget to work on this.
I think it's gonna be Outlast with weapons.
Yeah.
That's. I think.
See, I don't
which
know how
isn't
much.
bad.
I don't know how much weapons are going to be in this.
Well, I mean,
Like it's going to be like the first one where ammo scarcity
it should be scarce. Ammo
and
should
like
be scarce in
the,
these games.
the sounds of the weapons are going to attract more zombies and
Yes.
monsters.
Yes, that's.
Maybe you want to go more of a melee route.
It does. It does look. It looks good.
God, dude, imagine like if you're walking down a
No, I don't
hallway
want
and
to.
like in
No.
VR and you have that headset on and like you're walking by a window and those nasty ass dogs jump through the window and scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, I'll be walking through that game with my eyes closed.
Oh my god, I just like.
But it looks sweet.
But-
Definitely.
Yeah, like the only reason why I put this game on my list is that it's the first confirmed PlayStation VR title with a full campaign.
Yeah.
Like a full,
Yeah.
it's a full game, not like the Batman VR experience, which is an hour, or the Battlefield campaign, which is like a half hour.
Yeah, this is a full. You can do the full game in VR.
Yeah, and like,
When
and
I saw
it's
the
such
gun,
a
then
drastic departure from what we know Resident Evil to be that I felt like it was worth talking about.
I'm glad that they went back because like 5 was just like an action. I
Yeah,
don't
5
know
and
what-
6 were just like
I
not
don't know
Resident
what
Evil.
they were doing. I don't know what they were trying to do.
That
there.
5 was like an okay co-op experience, but it wasn't Resident Evil.
No, it was not Resident Evil. It was good for a co-op. I mean, it was fun
Yeah.
to play as co-op, but like, it was not Resident Evil.
Yeah,
Try playing that game by yourself.
yeah. And 6
Pretty
was
bad.
just like I tried to play it, and I was just like, dude, this is like I don't know what you want from this game. This is just bad. But and then the other game, Hideo Kojima's new game,
Yeah, it looks awesome.
starring Norman Reedus.
Also good choice. But I have no fucking clue what's going on.
No idea what it's called. Death Stranding.
Stranded.
And like the trailer opens up and you see like a naked Norman Reedus
Yeah.
and a baby
I'm sure the girls
attached
went
by
crazy.
a really ridiculously ripped Norman Reedus, which I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't think he's that ripped.
no.
Nice try, guys.
But you see this baby, and all of a sudden, like he's crying, holding the baby, and the baby disappears.
Yeah.
You see the handprints of the baby walk down his legs and into the beach,
It's weird.
and then you just see all these dead sea animals.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on.
And then you see him stare out into
But I wanna
what
play it.
you presume the ocean, and then you see these 5 like figures floating. towards
Yeah,
him.
I don't know what it is, but I want to play it. It looks good.
Oh yeah, I always want to play the next Kojima game, which I still need to play Metal Gear 5.
I know. Yes,
But
I have no fucking clue what's going on, but it got my attention. That's
Yeah.
a good.
yeah,
It's a good trailer. If
The
you're
way-
like, I don't know what the fuck
Dude,
just
the
happened,
way
but I want to play that.
they presented him walking out on stage, where he's just like he looks like a guy that doesn't want any attention whatsoever.
No, he's very humble.
And every time he comes out on stage, they make it this big production. Like they gave him like a rock star treatment, the light up pathway. You just see his silhouette come out of the door, and he just walks down nonchalantly.
That's how he should be treated.
Yeah, and like, I don't think Hideo Kojima really speaks English all that well.
No.
And I wonder how long it took him to learn those 2 sentences he said. He said, "I'm back," and like he got a standing ovation from the crowd.
He could have just came out there and been like, "I'm back."
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
That's all. That's it.
I honestly thought like he was going to announce a game, like not his game, but he was just coming out because like his company is basically a Sony studio.
He just
now.
be like, "I'm back, bitch," and then dropped the mic and just
Yeah.
walked off the stage.
and like
Be like, roll it when he's out.
and
That'd been sweet.
dude, and did you see the Norman Reedus Instagram photo
Yes.
of him drinking the coffee and the front of the cup said Konami Tears?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. You need to be taking as many shots as them as you can
Yeah.
because they're dumb.
Yeah. Anything that man does from now on is going to be a giant giant cash in for Sony.
Yeah, probably. Sony won this deal.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what this game is. He said it's going to be a third-person action game similar to, like, he compared it to Uncharted and The Division, which are two very different third-person.
I thought it would have been more like Alan Wake stuff, but
yeah. See, I'm still envisioning some kind of like Metal Gear style game, but more anime-ish.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, but like I said, looks sweet. Don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep our eyes open for that one.
And I'm not really a big Walking Dead fan, but I like Norman Reedus.
I love Norman
and
Reedus.
I'm glad they got back together.
Yeah, I love Norman
because that
Reedus.
Silent Hills was supposed to be them.
I know, and it was gonna be sweet.
Yeah, and I don't know, it looks sweet, looks good, and I feel like anything Kojima announces is worth talking about. So that's why I got it on my honorable mention list. And yeah, that's our top 10 plus 4 games of E3 2016. Anything else you want to talk about? The Xbox Slim looks good.
No, I mean Xbox Slim, some nerfs coming to Overwatch, some nerfs coming to Destiny, stuff like that.
Yeah, that already came out.
Doesn't really fit into the show tonight, but there's been some nerfs. You know.
Yeah.
They nerfed Widowmaker and McCree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next week's show, we're gonna get back to our regular type of show where we have like the 4 different topics and whatever, but. These last couple of weeks, E3 is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
We wanted to make sure, like, we got...
And I think it did well. If you had to pick a winner, Sony or Microsoft, who are you picking?
Sony. Which sucks, because Microsoft had a killer conference.
I'm not saying Microsoft didn't do well.
No, it's like the last 2 years, Microsoft has done really well. Whereas, like, out of all the conferences besides Sony, you would have been like, oh, Microsoft easily won E3. And then Sony comes out and shows... It just blows everybody away.
I think Sony did very well. They a lot of good stuff. You know, at the end of the day, the winners are us as gamers. The stuff that they're putting out looks good.
I still think Nintendo.
What I like with the list that we just went over is there's so much different stuff that on this list.
And there's games that aren't on this list that we're excited about.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this game wasn't there, but No Man's Sky looks good. Prey, we didn't talk about. Dishonored 2, we didn't talk about. Quake Champion.
Human? Was
Human,
Detroit. That one looks cool.
You know, Recore we didn't talk about.
Nope. There's like a pirate one.
Sea of Thieves we didn't talk about.
Sea of Thieves looks cool.
Yeah, that looks like a pirate version of Destiny.
I know it looks. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the fact when you said that we were doing this show and you only have 5 games, I'm like, shit, man. Like
yeah. Well, like I wanted to do a top 16 of 2016, which. On our website, I am doing a feature of the top 16 of 2016. If you're listening to this, today's game is Horizon. Yesterday's was Legend of Zelda. If you want to check that out, go to digitalnerdadvocates.com. You can find all of our articles there. But, you know, I didn't want to have like that 4-hour show where we're talking about every single game. And like now I kind of wish we would have like talked about more games, but we covered a lot, and it's been like I think we're going on like an hour and a half right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like E3 is always exciting. I think like I wasn't that excited going into this E3 because I was like I already know most of the games they're going to show, but then when they show these games and then they announce new games that you're not expecting, like we knew God of War was going to be there. But we didn't know we were going to be this excited.
No, I did not think I was going to be this excited.
We knew Sony Bendis' game was going to be there. We didn't expect Days Gone, which looks amazing. You know, Halo Wars 2, I was excited for that game, but, you know, it's just Halo Wars. But then they showed the trailer. It looks good. So, like, E3 is always exciting. And, you know, there's, you know, we didn't talk about Kingdom Hearts. We didn't talk about Final Fantasy. We didn't talk about the next episode of Hitman. We didn't talk about any of these games.
I know there was a lot of stuff that we could have easily talked about, and
we didn't talk about We Happy Few, which looks like a poor man's BioShock.
Yeah, really that looked really cool. I completely forgot about that game. Yeah.
So like, there's all these little indie titles. We didn't talk about Cuphead. We didn't like. The list of games we didn't talk about could go on and on. So. Anything else you want to hit on before we get going?
Gotta get some gaming in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can find the audio of this episode on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play on Thursdays. The full video on Fridays. Thank you so much for watching. You can find all of our content on digitalinternetadvocates.com. Check out our top 16 of 2016 coming out the next 2 weeks. And until next time, we love you.
We're out.